Okay, so you're thinking about launching an online business.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's a whole world of possibilities out there.
It is really exciting.
But let's be real. It can feel like a lot to figure out.
Right.
We've all been there. So today, we're doing a deep dive into some top guides on starting an online business. And trust me, we are pulling out the good stuff, the essential steps, the insider tips that can make or break you.
Yeah, exactly.
So by the end of this, you'll not only have a clear roadmap to launch, but also a heads up on those sneaky pitfalls that trip up so many new entrepreneurs.
It's like having a mentor in your pocket guiding you through the entire process.
Exactly. And before we jump in, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future deep dives like this one.
Yes, definitely do that.
Now, all these guides agree on one thing. Before you even think about websites or marketing, you need a rock-solid foundation. It's like building a house.
Yeah.
You don't start with the roof right.
Absolutely. One guide even shared this story about an entrepreneur who built $1 million clothing line because they were personally frustrated with the lack of ethical options out there.
Oh, interesting.
That why, that deep down motivation, is what fueled their success.
It's like they tapped into a need they truly understood. And that resonated with customers. It makes you think right.
It really does.
But what's your why? Why this business? It'll keep you going when things get tough. And D, help you connect with your audience authentically. And speaking of audience, once you've got your why figured out, those guides are all about getting laser focused on your target customer.
Yeah, no more everyone will love this wishful thinking.
Right.
We're talking a deep dive into demographics, interests, even those pain points that your product or service can solve.
They really got to get specific.
You do.
Okay, so we've got a clear picture of who we're serving. Now, one guide used a brilliant analogy. They said, figuring out your unique value proposition, your UVP, is like finding your special sauce.
Ooh, I love that.
What makes you stand out in a crowded market?
Yeah, what is it?
Are you offering handcrafted quality, super fast shipping, unbeatable customer service? That's your UVP. And it's gold.
It is.
So it's not just about being another online store. It's about having that unique edge right.
Absolutely.
If you need any help with your Shopify store, social media management, Google or Facebook ads, Dreamsoft Technologies Canada is here to help. Make sure you comment Shopify Ultimate Guide on this episode for a free download, jam-packed with even more tips and resources. Don't forget to subscribe to catch all our future deep dives as well. Now, once you've nailed down those foundational pieces, you can finally start building your online home.
Which brings us to the world of e-commerce platforms. Choosing one can feel like stepping into a candy store. So many options.
Oh, right. Shopify, BigCommerce, WooCommerce.
Yeah, how do you even choose?
One of the guides compared it to picking a car. Shopify is like that reliable sedan, perfect for getting started. But if you're a bit of a techie and want ultimate control, WooCommerce is more your DIY hot rod.
Great analogy.
More powerful, but needs you under the hood tweaking things. And speaking of setting yourself up for success, remember to ditch that generic domain name.
Oh yeah, that's like having a business card with a scribbled address on it.
Exactly.
A custom domain just screams legit, doesn't it? It's an investment in your brand and just looks so much more professional.
Absolutely. And on that note, let's move on to building a website that actually converts visitors into customers. Now, I know it's tempting to just focus on making it look pretty.
It can be, but hold on.
Okay.
The guides emphasize that functionality is key. It's got to be user-friendly and persuasive.
Right. So what are we talking about here? What makes a website actually work?
Well, first off, you need the essential pages beyond just a homepage. An About Us page to tell your story, FAQs to answer those burning questions, clear contact info, and rock-solid policies on shipping, returns, the whole 9 yards.
It's all about building trust.
It is.
No one trusts a website that feels like a ghost town.
Exactly.
And while we're on the topic of trust, user experience, or UX, seems to be the king of conversions, wouldn't you say?
Yes, absolutely.
Easy navigation, clear calls to action, think shop now buttons that actually stand out, high quality images.
It all matters.
It's like creating a VIP experience where everything is smooth and intuitive. And hey, if you need help crafting those killer calls to action, landing pages, or video editing for your brand, don't forget Dreamsoft Technologies Canada is here to help. Just hit us up. And while you're at it, make sure you subscribe to this channel to catch our next deep dive, where we'll be unpacking even more practical tips for launching your online business.
Sounds good. Speaking of practical, let's shift gears and talk about the operational side of things, the behind-the-scenes stuff that keeps your business running smoothly.
So do it.
It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of designing products and marketing campaigns, but without solid operations, things can fall apart quickly.
Yeah, like having a fancy storefront, but no inventory or way to process payments. Not a good look.
No, not at all.
So let's break down those essential operational pieces.
Okay.
Inventory management is a great place to start.
Yeah. One guide highlighted a business owner who almost went bankrupt because they didn't have a system to track their stock. They were constantly running out of their best-selling products and losing potential sales left and right.
Oh, wow. That's a nightmare scenario.
It is a nightmare.
So whether you're handling inventory yourself or using a fulfillment service, having a solid system in place is crucial.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Okay.
And then comes the question of how you're going to get paid. Payment gateways.
Right.
There are tons of options out there, from Shopify payments to PayPal to various credit card processors.
So many options.
Yeah, it's like setting up the cash register for your online store.
Okay.
Choosing the right setup for your business can make a huge difference in terms of fees, ease of use, and customer experience. And speaking of customer experience, let's not forget about shipping.
Right.
That can be a real make or break moment for an online business.
Oh, yeah. We've all been there.
Yeah.
Waiting impatiently for a package to arrive.
Yeah.
Or dealing with lost or damaged goods. Not fun.
Not fun at all.
No.
One guide actually recommended offering multiple shipping options to cater to different customer needs and budgets.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, some people want it fast and are willing to pay a premium, while others are happy to wait a little longer for a better price.
Makes sense.
It's all about flexibility and giving your customers choices right.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on to the exciting world of marketing, let's take a moment to remind our listeners to comment Shopify Ultimate Guide on this episode to get a free download packed with even more valuable tips for launching an online business.
Awesome.
And if you're feeling overwhelmed by all this information, remember that DreamSoft Technologies Canada is here to help. They offer a full range of digital marketing services, from Shopify store setup to social media management to running effective Google, Facebook, and even TikTok ads.
Wow. So you can really focus on what you do best, creating amazing products and services.
Exactly.
All right. Now let's talk marketing, the heart and soul of getting your business out there.
Yeah, one of the biggest takeaways from the guides is that effective marketing starts long before you actually launch. It's like building anticipation for a big movie premiere. You want people buzzing about it before it even hits the theaters.
Ooh, I like that analogy.
Oh, yeah?
So no more waiting until the last minute to shout about your business from the rooftops.
Exactly. Building pre-launch buzz is crucial.
Okay, so what does that look like in practice?
Well, it could involve things like creating a landing page to capture email addresses, teasing snippets of your products on social media, or even running a contest to generate excitement.
I like that. Those are great ideas.
Yeah, it's all about creating a sense of anticipation and getting people genuinely excited about your brand.
Right.
Precisely. And once you've launched, it's time to dive into the world of digital marketing.
And what a world it is. Email marketing, social media, SEO, PPC advertising. There are so many options.
There are, but remember what we said about the e-commerce platforms. It's not about doing it all. It's about picking the right tools for the job. The same goes for marketing. The key is to figure out where your target audience hangs out online, and then focus your efforts on those channels.
Okay, so no need to spread ourselves too thin trying to be everywhere at once.
Exactly. It's better to do a few things really well than to do a bunch of things poorly.
That's a good point.
So let's dive into some of these channels a bit deeper, starting with email marketing. It's like the trusty old friend of the marketing world, right?
Yeah.
It is still incredibly effective. One guide shared a case study of a small business that increased their sales by 50%, simply by implementing a consistent email marketing strategy.
Wow.
They focused on providing valuable content, segmenting their list, and personalizing their messages.
That's impressive.
It is.
So it's not just about blasting out generic promotional emails. It's about building relationships and providing value, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it's one of the few channels where you have direct access to your audience. Unlike social media, where algorithms can be fickle, you're in control of the conversation.
That's a great point.
Now let's talk about social media. It's such a powerful force these days, it's hard to imagine launching an online business without it.
It is.
But one of the guides cautioned against getting caught up in the vanity metrics, likes and followers, and instead focusing on engagement and building genuine connections.
So it's not just about having a presence on every platform. It's about being strategic and using social media to build relationships, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's about creating content that resonates with your target audience, sparking conversations, and building a community around your brand.
Love it. And speaking of building, let's not forget about SEO, search engine optimization. It can feel a bit technical,
Yeah.
but it's essential for getting your website found online.
It is. One guide explained it using a library analogy.
Okay.
Imagine you're looking for a specific book. SEO is like organizing the library so that the book you want is easy to find.
Okay.
It's about using the right keywords, structuring your website content effectively, and building links to your site from other reputable sources.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So it's not just about stuffing your website with keywords. It's about making it easy for search engines to understand what your website is about and to rank it accordingly.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the higher you rank in search results, the more likely people are to find your website and potentially become customers.
Makes sense. Now let's talk about paid advertising, specifically PPC, pay-per-click. It's a great way to get your website in front of a targeted audience, but it can also be expensive if not done right.
It can. One guide suggested starting with a small budget and testing different ad platforms and targeting options to see what works best. It's like dipping your toes in the water before diving in head first.
Right, don't want to just jump in.
No.
So it's about being strategic and not just throwing money at ads without a clear plan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's important to track your results carefully so you can make adjustments as needed and get the most bang for your buck.
That makes sense. Speaking of getting the most out of your efforts, content marketing seems to be the darling of the marketing world these days. Everyone's talking about it.
They are, and for good reason. One guide called it the slow and steady approach to marketing.
Okay.
It's about creating valuable content. Blog posts, videos, infographics, that educates and entertains your target audience, builds trust, and ultimately drives sales.
I like that it's like planting seeds that will eventually grow into a thriving garden of loyal customers.
Exactly. And the great thing about content marketing is that it has a long shelf life. Unlike a paid ad that disappears once your budget runs out, a well-written blog post or video can continue to attract new customers for months or even years to come.
That's awesome.
Now, what about influencer marketing? It seems to be all the rage these days.
It is.
And one guide emphasized the importance of choosing the right influencers for your brand.
Right.
It's not just about finding someone with a large following. It's about finding someone who aligns with your values, whose audience matches your target market, and who can authentically promote your products or services.
So it's about quality over quantity when it comes to influencers.
And it's important to build genuine relationships with influencers, rather than just treating them like walking billboards.
Makes sense. Speaking of building relationships, let's shift gears and talk about customer service, the backbone of any successful business.
Especially online businesses, where you don't have the luxury of face-to-face interactions to build rapport and resolve issues.
Right, it's all online.
Yeah, so how do we make sure our customers feel valued and heard in the digital world?
That's a good question.
One guide stressed the importance of responsiveness. In today's world of instant gratification, people expect quick answers to their questions and prompt resolutions to their problems.
So it's not just about having a contact form on your website. It's about actively monitoring those channels and responding in a timely manner.
Exactly. And it's also about being proactive and anticipating customer needs. For example, you could create a comprehensive FAQ page on your website to address common questions before they're even asked.
That's a good tip.
Yeah, it's like having a virtual customer service rep, available 24/7. And speaking of going above and beyond, one guide shared a story about a company that surprised a customer with a handwritten thank you note and a small gift after they had a positive experience.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's those little gestures that can really make a difference and turn a one-time customer into a lifelong fan.
Yeah, those personal touches are important.
They are.
Especially in the world of online business, where competition is fierce. Those personal touches can really set you apart.
Absolutely.
Now, before we move on, I just want to remind our listeners that we have a free download available, packed with even more tips for launching your online business. Just comment Shopify Ultimate Guide on this episode to get your copy.
And if you need a helping hand with any of the technical aspects of building your online presence, don't forget DreamSoft Technologies Canada. They're experts in everything, from Shopify store setup to SEO to video editing, so you can focus on what you do best, running your business.
Great point. Now let's dive into another crucial aspect of running a successful online business.
Okay, data analytics.
You read my mind. In the digital world, data is king.
It is.
Understanding your numbers is key to making smart decisions and optimizing your strategy.
Absolutely. One guide emphasized the importance of identifying your key performance indicators, or KPIs,
Oh.
right from the start.
Okay, KPIs. Break that down for me. What exactly are we talking about?
Think of them as your business's vital signs. Website traffic, conversion rates, customer acquisition costs, customer lifetime value. These metrics tell you how your business is performing and where you need to focus your efforts.
Okay, so it's not just about randomly collecting data. It's about tracking the numbers that actually matter.
Exactly.
Oh.
And once you know what to track, you need
Yeah.
the right tools for the job.
All right, give me the rundown on the essential analytics tools.
Well, Google Analytics is a great place to start. It's free and gives you a wealth of information about your website traffic, where your visitors are coming from, what pages they're viewing, how long they're staying on your site.
Wow, that's a lot of info.
It is. It's like having a digital detective on the case. And it can also give you insights into your audience demographics and interests. But don't forget about the analytics built into your e-commerce platform. They can provide valuable data on your sales, orders, and customer behavior.
So you really get a full picture.
You do. It's like having a direct line to the pulse of your online store.
Yeah.
And then there are social media analytics. They can tell you how your content is performing, who your most engaged followers are, and what kind of content is resonating.
You can see what's working.
It's like having a backstage pass to the social media show.
Ooh, I like that.
And finally, don't forget about email marketing analytics. They can track open rates, click-through rates, and conversions, so you can see how your email campaigns are performing and make adjustments as needed.
It's like having a crystal ball that shows you how your emails are being received.
Yeah, it is. But remember, data is only as good as the actions you take based on it.
Right.
One guide urged business owners not to be afraid to experiment, test different approaches, and let the data be their guide.
It's like having a roadmap that's constantly evolving and helping you navigate the ever-changing landscape of online business.
Exactly. And speaking of evolving landscapes, let's talk about something that's become increasingly important in the digital age.
Okay, security.
You got it. In today's world, where cyber threats are more sophisticated than ever, protecting your business and your customers' sensitive information is paramount.
It's like having a digital fortress around your business. You need those strong walls and vigilant guards to keep the bad guys out.
Exactly. And those walls start with website security. One guide recommended using a secure hosting provider, keeping your website software up to date, and implementing strong passwords and two-factor authentication.
So it's like having multiple layers of protection, a moat, a drawbridge, and a team of archers on the lookout.
Exactly. And then there's payment security. You want to make sure that your customers' payment information is protected when they make purchases on your website.
Right, because the last thing you want is for your customers to feel like their financial information is at risk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's where things like PCI DSS compliance, SSL certificates, and fraud prevention tools come in.
So it's like having a vault to protect those precious financial transactions.
Exactly. And speaking of precious, let's talk about data security. With all the regulations around data privacy these days, it's crucial to be handling customer data responsibly and ethically.
It is, because customers are entrusting us with their personal information, and we need to be worthy of that trust.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that means having a clear and concise privacy policy that outlines how you collect, use, and protect customer data. It also means being transparent with your customers about how their data is being used.
Right. Transparency is key.
It is.
It builds trust and shows your customers that you respect their privacy.
Exactly. And don't forget about password security. One guide highlighted the importance of educating employees about password best practices and implementing strong password policies for your business.
So it's like having a security drill for your entire team,
Yeah.
making sure everyone is on the same page and following the rules.
Okay. And remember, security is an ongoing process. It's not enough to just set it and forget it. You need to stay vigilant, keep up with the latest threats, and adapt your security measures as needed.
It's like having a security system that's constantly being upgraded to stay ahead of the bad guys.
Exactly. Now let's shift gears and talk about another crucial aspect of running an online business.
Okay. Legal considerations.
You got it. Operating a business online comes with its own set of legal requirements.
It does. It's like navigating a digital maze. You need to know the rules of the game to avoid getting lost or running into trouble.
Exactly.
Okay.
And those rules start with choosing the right business structure, sole proprietorship, partnership, LLC, or corporation.
Right, because each structure has different legal and tax implications.
Exactly. And it's crucial to consult with an attorney and an accountant to figure out which structure is best for your business.
It's like having a legal and financial dream team to guide you through the complexities of the business world.
Exactly. And speaking of complexities, let's talk about intellectual property, patents, trademarks, copyrights, and trade secrets.
Okay, intellectual property. Break that down for me. What exactly are we talking about?
Think of it as protecting the unique creations of your mind, your inventions, designs, brand names, and even your secret recipes.
So it's like having a digital lockbox to safeguard those valuable assets.
Exactly.
Great,
And it's
great.
crucial to register your intellectual property to prevent others from using it without your permission.
Makes sense. Now, what about contracts? I imagine those are pretty important when you're doing business online, right?
They are.
Yeah.
You'll likely need contracts for things like website terms and conditions, privacy policies, vendor agreements, and customer agreements.
It's like having a set of digital rules that everyone agrees to play by.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's important to have these contracts reviewed by an attorney to ensure they're legally sound.
Yeah.
And protect your business interests.
Right, because the last thing you want is to end up in a digital courtroom battle.
Absolutely. And speaking of digital battles, let's not forget consumer protection laws. These laws are designed to ensure that businesses are operating ethically and fairly, especially in the online world.
So it's like having a digital referee to make sure everyone is playing fair and that consumers' rights are being protected.
Exactly. And these laws cover things like truth in advertising, product safety, and data privacy.
So it's not just about making money, it's about doing business responsibly and ethically.
Absolutely. And speaking of responsibility, let's not forget about online advertising regulations.
Okay.
There are specific rules that govern how you can advertise your products or services online, especially when it comes to platforms like Google and Facebook.
Right, because the digital advertising landscape is constantly evolving.
Yeah.
And it's important to stay up to date on the latest rules of the game.
Exactly. And it's crucial to be transparent with your customers about your advertising practices and to get their consent before collecting their data.
Transparency is key.
It builds trust and helps you avoid any legal headaches down the road.
Makes sense.
Now let's shift gears and talk about another important aspect of running a successful online business.
Okay. Financial management.
You got it. Keeping track of your finances is crucial for any business, but it's especially important for online businesses, where transactions happen quickly, and it can be easy to lose track of your cash flow.
Right. It's all digital.
It is. It's like having a digital accountant, constantly crunching the numbers and keeping you on track.
Yeah.
And effective financial management starts with having a clear understanding of your revenue and expenses.
So think sales,
Right.
refunds, advertising costs,
Yeah.
shipping fees, all those ins and outs of the money flow.
Precisely.
Okay.
You need to be tracking these numbers carefully so you can make informed decisions about pricing, inventory, and marketing.
Right, because every dollar counts, especially when you're starting out.
Absolutely. And speaking of starting out, cash flow management is often a big challenge for new online businesses. You might not get paid for your products or services right away, so it's crucial to have enough cash on hand to cover your expenses.
So it's like having a financial safety net to catch you if things get a little bumpy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where having a cash flow forecast and monitoring your cash flow regularly comes in.
It's like having a financial GPS that helps you navigate the ups and downs of the business world.
Exactly. And speaking of ups and downs, let's not forget about pricing. It's one of those things that can make or break your business.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You want to be competitive, but also profitable.
Right, because if your prices are too high, you'll scare away customers. But if they're too low, you might not be able to cover your costs.
Exactly.
How do you find that balance?
Well, there are a lot of factors to consider when setting your prices, your costs, your target market, your competitors' prices, and your perceived value.
It's like trying to solve a financial puzzle.
It can be, but with careful planning and analysis, you can find the sweet spot that works for your business and your customers.
Okay, now let's talk inventory management. We touched on this earlier in the context of operations,
Yeah,
but it's also closely tied to financial management.
absolutely. You don't want to have too much inventory sitting around collecting dust because that ties up your cash. But you also don't want to run out of stock and miss out on sales.
Yeah, you got to find that balance.
Exact. It's like a delicate dance between supply and demand.
Right.
And there are a lot of techniques to help you find that balance, like just-in-time inventory, drop shipping,
Right.
and inventory forecasting.
Okay, I'm taking notes.
And speaking of taking notes, let's not forget about taxes.
Those taxes.
The tax laws for online businesses can be complex and can vary depending on your location and the type of products you're selling.
They're the necessary evil of the business world, aren't they?
They are, but with proper planning and the help of a tax professional, You can navigate the tax landscape successfully.
It's like having a tax Sherpa to guide you through the treacherous mountain passes of the financial world.
Exactly. And speaking of mountains of information, financial reporting is another crucial aspect of financial management. This is where you prepare financial statements, such as income statements, balance sheets, and cash flow statements to get a clear picture of your business's financial health.
It's like having a financial checkup to make sure everything is running smoothly.
Yeah.
And to identify any potential issues.
Exactly.
Okay.
And these reports can also be helpful when you're seeking funding for your business.
Funding. That's the lifeblood of any growing business.
It is.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of options out there for online businesses. Bootstrapping, loans, crowdfunding, venture capital. The best choice depends on your specific needs and goals.
It's like having a financial toolbox with all the right tools to help you build your business empire.
Exactly. Now, before we wrap up this section on financial management, remember that it's an ongoing process. It's not just about setting up a budget and then forgetting about it. You need to track your finances regularly, make adjustments as needed, and seek professional advice when you need it.
Yeah, you got to stay on top of it.
You do. It's like having a financial compass to guide you on your entrepreneurial journey.
I like that.
And speaking of journeys, let's circle back to something we touched on earlier.
Okay. Sustainability.
You got it. In today's world, it's not just about building a profitable online business. It's about building a sustainable one.
Right. Because consumers are becoming more conscious than ever
Yeah,
about the impact their purchases have on the planet.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And building a sustainable business is no longer just a nice to have. It's a must have. It's not just good for the planet. It's good for your brand and your bottom line.
So how do we incorporate sustainability into our online business model?
Well, there are a lot of ways to make your online business more sustainable, starting with reducing your environmental impact.
Okay, reducing environmental impact.
Right.
What does that look like in practice for an online business?
It could involve things like choosing eco-friendly packaging, using renewable energy sources for your website hosting, minimizing waste in your operations, and offsetting your carbon emissions from shipping.
Wow, so really thinking about the entire process.
Yes, it's like making your online business a responsible citizen of the planet.
I like that.
And it's not just about what you do internally, it's also about where you source your products.
Right. Ethical sourcing is becoming increasingly important.
Absolutely. Consumers want to know that the products they're buying are made ethically and sustainably.
Yeah.
So it's crucial to partner with suppliers who share your values and who are committed to fair labor practices, safe working conditions, and environmental responsibility.
So it's like having a supply chain with a conscience.
Exactly. And speaking of conscience, giving back to the community is another important aspect of sustainability.
Give back to the community. I love that. It's about using your business as a force for good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there are so many ways to give back. Donating a portion of your profits to charity, supporting local organizations, volunteering your time. The possibilities are endless.
So many options.
There are.
So it's about finding a cause that you're passionate about and using your business to make a positive impact.
Exactly.
All right.
And remember, sustainability is a journey, not a destination. It's about continuous improvement, making conscious choices, and striving to do better every day.
So constantly raising the bar for yourself.
Yeah, and setting a good example for other businesses to follow.
Okay.
Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, let's just take a moment to recap all the key takeaways.
Okay, let's do it. Starting with those foundational elements.
Yeah.
Defining your why, getting crystal clear on your target customer, and crafting a unique value proposition that sets you apart.
Right.
Then we moved on to the practicalities of building your online presence, choosing an e-commerce platform, setting up your website, and creating a user-friendly experience that actually converts visitors into customers.
And we can't forget about those behind-the-scenes operations,
Yeah.
managing inventory, setting up payment gateways, and figuring out the logistics of shipping.
And then came the exciting world of marketing. Email marketing, social media, SEO, PPC advertising, content marketing, influencer marketing. It's all about finding the right mix of strategies to reach your target audience and achieve your goals.
And of course, we can't forget about the importance of providing exceptional customer service, building trust and loyalty, and turning one-time buyers into lifelong fans.
And in today's digital world, data is king. Tracking your key performance indicators, understanding your website analytics, and using that data to make informed decisions are crucial for success.
Absolutely.
And we can't forget about the importance of security. Protecting your business and your customers' data is paramount, and it's an ongoing process that requires vigilance and adaptation.
And then we explored the legal landscape of running an online business, choosing the right business structure, protecting your intellectual property, understanding consumer protection laws, and staying compliant with online advertising regulations.
And finally, we talked about the importance of financial management, tracking your revenue and expenses, managing your cash flow, setting your prices strategically, and staying on top of your taxes.
But it's not just about the numbers. It's about building a sustainable business, one that's good for the planet, good for your community, and good for your soul.
It's about using your business as a force for good.
Exactly. Now, before we sign off, I just want to remind our listeners to subscribe to this channel to catch more deep dives like this one.
And don't forget to comment Shopify Ultimate Guide on this episode to get your free download, packed with even more tips for launching your online business.
And if you need help with any aspect of building your online presence, from setting up your Shopify store, to creating engaging social media content, to running effective online ads, be sure to check out DreamSoft Technologies Canada. They offer a full range of digital marketing services to help your business thrive.
All right, folks, that's a wrap on our deep dive into launching an online business. We hope you found it valuable and insightful.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep into the world of online business.
It's amazing how much goes into building a successful online business.
It is.
It's like we've uncovered a whole hidden world behind those sleek websites and catchy ads.
I know, right?
There's a lot going on behind the scenes.
Definitely more than just setting up a Shopify store and hoping for the best.
Right.
There's strategy, planning, and a lot of hard work involved.
Yeah, but that's also what makes it so exciting, right?
It is.
It's like embarking on a grand adventure with all its challenges and rewards.
Absolutely. And the best part is that there are so many resources available to help you along the way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Guides, courses, mentors, and even podcasts like this one.
Exactly. Speaking of resources, I just want to remind our listeners one last time about our free download, packed with even more tips for launching your online business. Just comment Shopify Ultimate Guide on this episode to get your copy. Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a thought-provoking question. We've talked about all the practical aspects of building an online business, the strategies, the tools, the legal considerations. But what about the human side of things?
The human side of things.
Yeah, like building a brand that people connect with on an emotional level, creating a community around your products or services, and using your business as a platform for positive change in the world.
I love that.
It's about more than just the business itself.
It is. It's about going beyond just transactions and building genuine relationships with your customer.
Exactly. It's about creating a brand that people believe in, a brand that stands for something more than just profits.
It's about making a difference in the world, one customer at a time.
And that's something worth striving for, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's what makes the journey of entrepreneurship so rewarding.
Well, folks, that's a wrap on our deep dive into launching an online business. We hope you found it valuable, insightful, and maybe even a little inspiring.
Remember, building an online business is a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
There will be challenges along the way, but with passion, perseverance, and a willingness to learn, you can achieve anything you set your mind to.
I love that. So go out there, chase your dreams,
Yeah.
and make your mark on the world. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more deep dives into topics that matter to you.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.